has just found their way to this video. My name's Hillary, and this is my first YouTube video I've ever done. I figured amid all this COVID-19, I'd probably just sit in my living room and maybe tell some people some spooky stories, might get some people's mind off of it. So I'm into the unsolved kind of deal. Hope you are too if you're here. If you're not, I don't know, maybe you will be. So let's just stay and see how it goes. Okay. My first creepy story, not my first creepy story, but one of the creepy stories I'm going to tell you, and hopefully I'll be able to do this every week, but we'll just start off today and see how it goes. So I was about 17. Let's just start there. I was 17 years old, and my first boyfriend that I had ever had slept over in, like, just slept over at my house, you know. We were up till 1 o'clock in the morning. My dad was asleep, my sister was asleep, and it was just me and him. We were up in the morning, we were talking about what do you think happens after we die. Very heavy conversation to start, I know. But it was just something interesting, and I said, like, you know, I believe in ghosts. And he said, absolutely not. I do not believe in anything like that, like science. Now, I don't know if any of you guys are from Toronto, but at this time, it was what I'm going to call the Great Flood. There was a very big rainstorm, and it resulted in a lot of people's houses getting flooded, and the basement got ruined. So our basement at the time was just concrete and studs because we were rebuilding. There was a radio downstairs at the time because we had a contractor, but all he listened to was rock music, and it was never on. Like, it wasn't on at night. It was only on when he came over to, like, do his contracty stuff. So, again, me and my boyfriend are sitting in our room, and we stop dead and just are staring at each other. And all we can hear is this old-timey music. Now, old-timey music, I'm talking, here's a record player, here's a sonograph or whatever playing, like, it was old. It wasn't anything that was on the radio, and we just hear this music playing. So we decide, okay, let's go investigate, because, like, I figured maybe my sister or my dad had been awake and they were making that, just the noise. So we got up, I checked my dad's room, music's still playing, my dad is asleep, close the door, walk down the hallway, turn my head to the living room, my sister's asleep on the couch. So me and my boyfriend are standing at the top of my stairs, just listening to this music play. And I'm staring into my dark basement at this point. And we must have been standing there for well over a minute. So it wasn't coming from a car. It wasn't coming from an open window. I don't know who would be listening to some music, but it was just playing. And we just sat there until it just stopped. The music just stopped, and we stood there for maybe an extra 20 seconds. Like, this seemed like the longest amount of time I've ever stood listening to something. Like, the time passed so slow, and it just stopped. We stared at each other, and basically that conversation for if ghosts are real kind of closed, because it always comes up in conversation about, remember that time we were talking about if you believe what happens on the other side, and we heard the ghost in the basement? Yeah. So we just ended up walking back to my room, going to sleep, didn't say much else. And that was one scary time in my house. Now, I have a whole bunch of stories I would love to tell you, and I'm happy that I could tell this story. If you guys would love to hear any more stories that I have to tell you, you can just feel free to come on back, and let's see what I got to tell you. So thank you for listening. Thank you for stopping to my channel, and hopefully you come back for the next episode of Hillary's Haunted House. Thanks. Bye, guys.